Welcome everyone to another live stream Saturday afternoon, October 4th, 12:15 p.m. Thank you for being here. Good morning. If you're somewhere else in the country or the world, good afternoon, good evening, all that good stuff. Thank you all for joining. Let's see how we're doing here. Wow, we got 11 viewers so far and 5 likes. Appreciate it, guys. So I've been busy around the studio. As you can kind of tell, things look a little different. Not 100% sure that it's exactly zeroed in to the way I want it, but it's pretty darn close. So I figured I would stream today, share with you guys the changes I made. I have, well, you know the before because you've been following me for a while, but I have a video that I took this week when I decided to tear down the studio. I just woke up, I think it was Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning, and kind of just lost my mind. But I needed a change. And I think this is a change for the better, but I love your feedback. Also, speaking of feedback, we have a poll going on, and the poll is regarding PPSK, whether you are using it, aren't using it, been thinking about using it. So be sure to check out the poll and respond to that. So yeah, let's go to the chat and let's say hello and see who's all here. All right, so Jeremy's working today, but he'll probably watch the replay. Appreciate that, Jeremy. I watched your replay last night. In fact, loved the Steve Hawkins shirt. The quote, intelligence, something about intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. So yes, I did figure that one out. Appreciate it. And yeah, so I appreciate you watching the stream later on. We have some feedback on it. What do you think about the new look in the studio? Everybody else, give me some ideas. What do you like? What do you don't like about it at this point? Also, let me know, is the audio okay? Let me continue on saying hello to folks. Just give me 1 second to check on something here. Okay.
Hey, Josephus! Josephus is in the house. Welcome, Josephus.
Okay. Hey, Joe, welcome. Happy to have you here on a Saturday afternoon. Things are a bit different for me. I'm used to looking this way because my camera was usually off to my side. So it's directly in front of me now, and I'll give you guys a tour with the mobile phone. But everything's all over the place. My multi-view is no longer where it used to be off to the side there. It's now in front of me here. Actually in front of me there. The monitor that I would use to split off and share things on the screen like is no longer up there, so I'm no longer looking up, I'm just looking here. So I like this setup for me so far, but it's taking a little bit of getting used to. But anyway, glad you're here, Joe. Hey Bluey, welcome. I'm glad to see you. I know you missed the last one. No need to ever apologize for missing a stream. I just appreciate the support, the ongoing support. Welcome. I guess Joe likes the new studio. Well, that's good, because to get a stamp of approval from somebody who's in the actual business of video production and live streaming, appreciate that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Tim, welcome. I'm glad you were able to make it today. We're going to be doing a tour of the studio or the tour of the changes. Hey, Grish, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that. DJ Ware, welcome. Thank you, Joe. Fall theme? No. I guess you're getting that from the orange accent lighting in the back. No, just something different. I'll explain more about it as we go through it. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to change it up a little bit because you guys are all thinking it's a fall winter scene. But anyway, hey, TVJ, welcome. Grish says 5x5 on the audio and the video. Thank you. David, welcome. No worries, my friend. TVJ, thank you. I appreciate that. Grish says, what are those switches up in the back there? So the top one is a Grand Stream GWN 7003. Hold on. GWN 7803. And the one below it is my original Unify US 1550 watts switch. Both of those switches used to be in the audio rack here, but now I have you think I would remember. Hold on. Okay, so the AV rack switch is the GWN 7802P. So I'm using those for props. They both work, but yeah. Hey, Terrell, welcome. I appreciate that. Thank you, Bluey. Jeremy says, I'm here until about 12:45, but I'm loving the new look. I may have to change some things around myself. Hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with reinventing yourself. And for me, it was time. I have this tremendous room up here. And again, I'm looking over there like the camera's over there. I'm just so used to it. But I have this tremendous bonus room up above my garage. And I wasn't thrilled with the backdrop because how long the old backdrop, because of how long the room is. So I wanted something a little different. I got my inspiration from, actually Jay sent me a link to a guy, DSLR shooter. I've seen his videos in the past. I'll share the link to that video. It was my inspiration for this reinventing of the studio space. But I just wanted something different. It was time. So yeah, glad you guys are all liking it. Yeah, and the background items can be changed, absolutely. Like if I want to change the lights and stuff like that. I thought about painting the walls, the actual sheetrock. I thought about painting the sheetrock that's around those sound panels to a dark charcoal gray, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Like I said, I think I got it looking decent. There's another edition that's coming that's going to go up on the panel behind me there at the top. I'm just waiting on pricing. I'm waiting to hear back from the company. You'll see that. Hopefully everything will work out, and you'll see that in either in a video or another live stream coming up. So, and again, yeah, all the props on the back shelf there can be moved around and changed. So we got a PTZ optics camera next to the orange rock lamp, salt lamp. That's actually in use. That's the actual rear view cam, but it's doubling as a prop. Then obviously the salt lamp, and then we have a discontinued Grand Stream GWN 7052 Wi-Fi router, and then down is the GWN 7062 tower. So yeah, all that can be changed. I have my actual office phone here now, so it's providing like a little something in the background. So I don't know, just things I can play around with. So yeah, Oh, good, Terrell. I was wondering about that. I was wondering if you and Chow would be in the stream today to let me know if that actually arrived. That is the GW, the phone. It's the 2135. Is it the GHP? Hold on. Sorry. It's an older phone. I think it's. Hold on, let me look it up. I'm not sure, Jay. Let me give that a quick look. It's definitely 2135. I forget the G, blah 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 model, the letters. Hold on, let me give that a look. Hold on. Dennis Pillow, former viewer, well, not former, but viewer of the channel, sent me that phone quite a few years ago. Let's look together. Okay, so at Grandstream's website, Unified Communications. Let's get out of here. Let's go to IP phones. I think I want to say GHP, but I'm not sure. IP voice telephony. Like I said, it's an older phone. I'm not sure if they'll even have it. Maybe it's a GXP. Let's take a look. Probably, I would say that's a, let's go to here. Yeah, okay, here it is right here, the GXP 2135. You could actually put your logo in the display in the background. Let's see what it says about the phone. 8 lines, 4 SIP accounts, 2.8-inch color LCD, 32 digital speed dial, BLF keys, etc. So, yeah, it's been my daily driver for quite some time now. So, yeah, there you go. All right, so one of the things before I show you the before and then take you on the after tour is one of the things I've been trying to combat is the glare in the glasses. And I've moved these lights around considerably this week. I've actually tried bouncing them off the ceiling so that they're not directly facing me. And what I found is some of the reflection in my glasses, yes, is coming from the lights, but a lot of it's coming from what's on the monitors in front of me, especially when I have something with a white background. So I don't really know. Even if I got to put lights positioned with bouncing or with reflectors, I still am not going to be able to combat the reflection that I'm getting off the monitors. So I've accepted that, and yeah, that's what we're doing. So, and what am I drinking? I'm drinking my 24-ounce or 30-ounce glass of Crystal Light lemonade. So there we go. Okay. Let me show you the before. I'm going to switch microphones. Check, check, 1, 2, check, checking 1, 2. Not the before. You guys know the before from seeing the studio. Let me bring up the morning I lost my mind and did the teardown. All right, here we go. So I woke up and I decided I was going to break my studio apart. This is everything all over the place. No rhyme or reason. Just ripped it all apart. Did not have a game plan when I did this, but I figured something would come together. And you could see when I was talking about let me just pause that there. You could see the Sony camera off to the side. That's where I used to look, so now it's directly in front of me. So yeah, so I just have everything all over the place, but I did label it, so I knew when I put it, started to have to put things back together, what got routed to where. So, because I did this, I built this studio over time, right? So what was I thinking along the way, and why did I do things a certain way at that time? You know, I didn't want to trust myself that I would remember everything, so I just labeled everything. That new Nimba D110 printer came in extremely handy. All right, so let's see. Comments are flocking in. 14 people here, 7 likes. Appreciate that. Don't forget to respond to the poll. We'll check that in a little bit. Let's see what else we got going on here. Jay says, I see something green reflecting. Oh, in my glasses. Interesting. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know that I'm going to be able to combat that. The lighting is not currently bounced off the ceiling. And yes, the glasses do have reflective coating. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Yeah, I ripped this down, again, not really knowing how I was going to rebuild it. All I knew was I was tired of having the camera over here, and I was tired of when I showed you guys something on the computer looking up there. There had to be a better way, and one of the challenges was the large 49-inch monitor, because that takes up so much of the desk real estate that I wasn't sure how I was going to reposition things. I prefer, like, my control things like my my Stream Deck, my Mix Effect iPad. I prefer that to my left, as well as the rack here. So, but it came together nicely. So that said, let me get this connected. Hopefully this will work. Let's go to camera apps. Let me make sure this connects. Just give me a second. Come on. Yeah, of course, it worked earlier today. Let's try it one more time. Seriously? All right, let me bring up the D350 and take a look at what's going on. Okay. Camera 2 connected, iPhone error, no kidding. Let's try this again. Hold on, I think I might know. I think I might know. No, it should be on. Let's see. Okay. Someone signal me. Oh, Tim. Yeah, I'm going to go over that too in a little bit. But thank you. Okay, not sure why this is not connecting, but let's start again. Let's do this. Let's do this. Hopefully I can get this to work. And let me just bring this in here. Huh. Which message am I getting? Definitely want to show you this. I'm not going to be able to walk around. All right, we're going to try this another way. Darn it. Okay. Let's do this. No, that's only going to show you what I see. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. And let's do this. All right, this isn't going to be the best. You're going to see some of the iPhone camera stuff on the screen, but at least I can kind of show you what's going on. Let me bring this up. Okay. Like I said, you're going to see all the stuff from the iPhone camera, but all right, so I moved the rack to my left side again. And again, I know you guys last week said that you wanted me to do like a video of what everything is and how it's all connected. And I will do that. But so what I have in front of me now is still have the iPad to the left, the computer, the Stream Deck. There's the mixer that I'm using, the SSL 12. So I have the big monitor to the left. So if you take a look now at my setup, I'm sitting right in the middle here. The camera, the Sony main camera is right there. For the stream, I'm using the laptop with H2R graphics. But typically, if I was just doing a video, I have the main camera there. I have a PTZ camera there for a close-up shot, a low close-up shot of product. And then off to the side there, I have the monitor that used to be way up there, is now there. So panning across from left to right, this seems to be, for me, a much better setup. I used to have the monitors on the desk, left and right. I only use them for editing video, and since this is going to be my video editing monitor, I ordered stands to get them up a little higher than the monitor. They're going to be triangular, but there's going to be one on this side and then one right here on this side, just above the monitor, a little bit above my ears, not horrible, but for the level of editing I'm doing, that will work. Now, let me get up and show you what's going on behind me. Yep, I have my RE320. I have another mic stand coming in this week. I'll show it to you, remind me, because I just don't like how much in the main image the RE320 becomes a focal point. But I love the mic and I refuse to give it up. And then across the top, I have the top-down cam on that ceiling mounted arm. However, I'm going to do something different with that. I have a couple of things ordered and I'll share that with you too. Let me get up, show you behind me. So behind, let me go this way. So behind the set, just on a little table, I have just a little lamp. I got a plant in the background, as you can see there. I have the RGB light on the floor directly behind my chair so you can't see it. And then I have my rack or my shelving with my props. And that bottom shelf, you guys really can't see. It's just a bunch of junk. Okay, so that's pretty much what it used to be. Now, the studio, if you remember in the old videos and the old live streams, the studio, my back used to be to this door and to this workstation. So now, if I go over there and I show you the studio from here, you can see my setup. So now I'm angled in the corner. I could see from sitting at the desk now, sitting in the actual studio itself, I can now look at my door. So it's a much better setup. The monitor, I didn't show you that. The monitor that I'm using for my multi-view used to be the monitor that was positioned over here with the gold chair and the QuickTech pillow in front of it. So yeah, changed things around quite a bit. I ordered some carpet runners here so I don't kill myself tripping on these cables. Those will be coming in this week. And yeah, so this is the entry into the actual studio. And there's the monitor. So I went from I used to have a 7-inch monitor in this area when the camera was off to the left. Then I increased that to an 11-inch, and now that's a nice 40-inch monitor that's square right in front of me, and I could see everything clearly. So let me cut back to here and get out of there. I'm not sure why the SRT streaming of the camera didn't work, but at least you got to see what was going on. Let me quit the mirroring for now. Stop mirroring and let me switch microphones. All right, check 1 2, check. We are back. Let me bring up the comments and go back and see what's going on. All right, so looking forward to seeing those new accessories. Might give me some ideas too. Yeah, and I'm going to share them with you, and I'm going to share links to the videos. Like I said, for me, the main thing was I wanted the camera directly in front of me. I didn't want to be looking up anymore at the monitor that I shared with you live. And so everything seems to be working out for me nicely. As far as the background's concerned, I could change out the props as needed. I could change out the accent lighting as needed. I thought about getting those tube lamps, those standing vertical tube lamps, but then I thought I stopped myself because I thought that's kind of a trendy thing, and you know, like house designs and kitchen cabinet styles of the 70s and then of the 80s and then of, you know, things change like that, and I just didn't want to make that kind of investment on something that is a trendy thing. Now, if I'm wrong about that, let me know. Let's see what else. But I'm going to share with you that the overhead rig I'm going to build for the camera, and it's got a nice option for lighting the top down. Because if I switch to the top down now, you're going to see it's not quite as bright. There's the top down. Let me get there we go. Let me get that off. So when I was talking about doing, oops, come on. Oh, I know why. Hold on 1 second. I got to turn the key off. All right, so now it won't go black on you. So when I was talking about the other view I have, let's say I was demonstrating, you know, this remote control. I have a nice, this is the top down here, but it's not as bright as if I go to the product view camera, which is here. So I need to do something to figure out the lighting. But like I said, it is a work in progress at this point. So I got to put the key back on. Again, bear with me. This is all kind of new. So, wow, cables, you managed to reconnect them in 1 day. Brilliant. Well, 2 days. I still got to do some wire management, but you know how that goes when it's your own, right? But a lot of it's tied up, and there's still some left to deal with. So, DJ Ware says, fantastic and nice layout. Did you use all the gear? Did you leave anything out? Okay, that's a great question. The only thing that I did not reconnect at this point in time is sitting down in the rack here to my left, and that's the enclosure that's holding the DeckLink Duo card. Right now, I'm not using the DeckLink Duo. I'm not doing the sports show anymore. I'm not doing Zoom ISO anymore. I canceled my Zoom ISO license. So that was all I was using it for, pretty much, was to bring in the Zoom feeds of the remote guests into Zoom, then into Zoom ISO, and then taking the feeds, each individual feed, out of Zoom ISO and capturing them into the DeckLink Duo card and then running them into the ATEM. Whew, that was a mouthful. But since I'm not doing the sports show anymore, I didn't bother hooking that back up, but it's just a matter of connecting the cables, so not a big deal. That was a great question. All right. Thank you for that. All right, so Let me show you. Let me bring this over here. And you could see what I'm talking about. As soon as I bring up something, you could see the glare in my glasses. That's an actual, in just a Chrome browser. So let's bring up. Let's bring up the videos that I want to show you. I'm not going to play them, but I'm just going to show you the video I was talking about, and then I'll put a link in the description.
Have you guys seen this bearskin hoodie ad? It's been all over my feed, so I had to get one to test it out. This fleece is thick. It's made from 340 GSM.
Skip. I don't know if you're hearing the audio for that. If you are, I apologize. So this was the inspiration video that I used to lay out the gear according to, so it fits my needs. I'll put this link, hold on, down in the chat. This is from a guy named, well, his YouTube channel is DSLR Studio, I believe, or DSLR Shooter, DSLR Video Shooter. Let me copy that link and put that in the chat. There's that one. And then, so you can kind of see how he's got everything set up in the middle. Now he's using a teleprompter. I do have a teleprompter I could use, but I don't script my videos. So the only advantage for me personally is if I'm doing a Zoom call with somebody, now I'm no longer looking off to the, if the Zoom call is on the monitor there, I could be looking directly at them if I decide to use the teleprompter. But for right now, I didn't include that in the new transformation. And the other video is this guy right, where is it? This one. Gabriel VIP. I just found his channel. You want to create, and it's, let me just make sure. Let's see. Let's get through
beautiful,
here.
effective top down
right there. And it's the name of the video is Build the Ultimate Overhead Camera Rig. Let me just scroll over to see if I can find like a finished product of it. Okay, it's not the greatest shot, but he used two desktop table mounts, one on each side here, or actually one's here going down, and then he used a crossbar that extends to 10 feet. Then he's using the light stand adapters to connect LED lights that you see how he's got them angled and bounced up off the ceiling. That's for his top-down cam, because he is actually having the same issue I'm currently having, and he found that by taking those lights and bouncing them off the ceiling down onto it, it perfectly lit up the top-down cam. He's using a Manfrotto super clamp here to hold his camera. So that's the rig I'm going to build. Not very, very expensive. I have links to all of each individual piece, because you got to buy the tabletop desk mount pole separately. You need two of those. You need one crossbar. You need the Manfrotto. And if you're going to do this with the lights, now I happen to have two LED lights laying around. I could try it. The difference with him is when he built this, when he built this, he uses those same two lights that he's bouncing off the ceiling. He's got a sheetrock wall in front of him, so he uses that for his talking head videos as well. So he just tilts them up and faces them towards the wall and bounces the light, the fill and key light, off the wall back at him. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I don't have a wall in front of me. So I'm just concerned that if I put the LED lights up on the top of those poles bouncing off the ceiling, how much more... Well, I'm not going to be in the picture, so it doesn't matter. I was going to say it'll just, when I'm on the top-down camera, it'll just be the top-down. So it should work out for me. Let me drop the link to this small rig setup in the chat as well. And if you want the links to all the pieces to build this rig, let me know and I'll drop them in the chat. I'm not just going to take it upon myself, the liberty to put the links in there, but if you want them, I have them and I will be happy to share them with you. And full transparency, they are Amazon affiliate links. And I haven't seen Cecil yet, but if Cecil should show up, I have the links, Tim, that you gave me to give to Cecil last week for the SFP transceivers. All right, so that's that. All right, so that's that. Let's go through the chat a little bit more. Let me close this here so get a little glare off my glasses. Okay. Welcome, Keith Bennett from Life Journey Productions. Glad to see you here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Just something a little different. Glad you like it. Would be helpful to put a privacy filter on your monitors. That might mute the amount of light hitting your glasses. I'll have to look into that. That's a good idea. And then here's the link to the studio setup. Keith says, my monitors are to the right and left of me and the Elgato prompter in front of me. Yes, yes. Lots of sound panels, and that's only what you're seeing. They go down the room quite a bit. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over there, and I have 8 going down this wall here, a total of 8. So, yeah. Let me show you guys the other stuff that I have on order. And I'm not sure it's going to work with the RE320, but I really am not willing to give up this microphone. Just let me get into my orders and then I'll bring it up on the screen. Come on. Okay. So, what the heck? Ah, there we go. So I ordered, by the way, here are the speaker stands. Let me bring this up. I can get Keith's message off. So here are the speaker stands I ordered to get the speakers up. They extend up from 26 to 52 inches in height, which will be perfect to get them just above that monitor where I need them for editing. So that's that. Then I bought, thought I bought, oh, this guy right here. I bought this mic stand, the gravity stand, I'm not going to use this extension right here. I'm just going to put this, boom, right on top of the clamp so that it brings up, so that it kind of brings up, comes up on an angle, like from here down. How can I display that? With my straw. So it'll bring up the mic stand on an angle, and I'm kind of hoping just not having this whole mechanism across the top, even if I have to hook the shock mount to it, it'll come, but coming up from the bottom, it might be better. I don't know. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I am not willing to give up this microphone. I like it too much. And let me see what else. I think that's all I have to show you, but here are, let me show you this. So here are the individual pieces to build that rig. They come in a 3-pack. The male converters. This is the crossbar. So let me see, it goes from 4 feet to 10 feet. Here's the Manfrotto super clamp that I'm going to use to hold the camera in place. I'll put, like, again, if you want the links to this stuff, I'm happy to put them in. And then here are the 2 uprights that the crossbar will connect to. And the advantage, you're probably wondering, like, oh, and the other piece too, I bought the female to female converters as well. You're probably wondering, like, why did I buy that overhead rig when I have that arm that the camera's connected to? Here's why. Because if I adjust the camera, you see the camera shakes and it takes a while to stop. Well, I'll pretty much be eliminating the camera shake if I need to adjust it in a video or in a live stream. So anyway, yeah, I thought about calling you for some point me in the right direction kind of thing, but I've really learned a lot over the years, and you've been a big inspiration with it. And then with the video that Jay shared with me, I really just wanted to tackle it on my own and see what I came up with. Trust me, if I hit a roadblock or I came up with something that I didn't come up with something that I felt was acceptable, you would have been hearing from me. The shot of you in the effect looks better with you being in the center. Yes, yes. I have a few suggestions, but we can chat later if you like. Absolutely. We would love to hear them. Don't forget about the poll. Let's see. 16 votes. Okay, cool. We'll go over that in a few. Jeremy, got to run. You got it, my friend. Don't work too hard. Raising the camera and angling it slightly down. I don't know. I could certainly try. I've always learned, to try to keep the camera at eye level, and I think it's just about at eye level, but, and then I know if I raise it up and angle it down, it's kind of going to skew. Well, the background's skewed anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So I will play around with that. Not right now in the live stream, but that's something I will play around with. Thank you for the suggestion. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate it. Well, I appreciate that too, Joe. I really don't want to give up this mic. The guy, Gabriel, did have a suggestion for a boom mic to keep out of camera, but I just don't want to do that. Appreciate that. Like the stream. It does help. Oh, we use Gravity in Pro AV. They make great stuff. Good to know. Yeah. Yep. I'm happy with it. The sound panels are ugly, but I got them for like a super bargain price. I mean, they're like $50 or $60 of sound panel, maybe now more with everything, the way things have been going up. Believe it or not, I picked these up for about $1 a piece. A friend of my brother-in-law back a couple of years ago when I was looking for soundproofing, when we built the house, he worked in construction. These are called Tectum panels, and they're made by Armstrong, and they are used in commercial space and corporate space and gymnasiums to absorb the sound. The guy had a big commercial job, and he had too many, and he had a bunch left over. He couldn't move them. They were just sitting in his warehouse for a couple of years. So when I was talking to my brother-in-law about designing this room up here as far as sound, he said, let me get back to you on something. The guy is like, yeah, well, come and take them. They're $1 a piece. You can have them. So I scored with that one. I was trained to never have the camera exactly at eye level, slightly above. Interesting. I think the panels look good given your color scheme. Thank you. Appreciate it. Don't feel like covering them with material. Did that once before. Not doing it again. You flipped the script. Not sure what that means, Keith. But, okay. I think that's about everything regarding the studio. Let's take a look real quick at the results. I'm going to end the poll now with 16 votes. We got 11 likes, 12 of you here. I appreciate it. Let's end the poll. We have 16 votes. 50% of you say you're not using PPSK. 44% say no, you're thinking about it, and 6% of you say yes, you are. Interesting. Okay. Speaking of PPSK, I know at the end of last week's live stream, I was talking about, my channel and my channel not completely, doing all that great when it came to numbers, yada, yada, yada. In fact, I think a couple of you got the impression that I was going to quit because I got a lot of comments about don't quit, da-da-da, this, that, and the other thing. And trust me, I appreciate that from all of you. Oddly enough, this week, Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock, I release my PPSK video. And I don't normally do this, but I'm going to show my YouTube analytics just for that particular video because it's mind-boggling. All right, so let me just get to that video and then I'll bring it up. Okay, I'm going to bring this up on the screen. Since being published on Tuesday at 10 a.m., it's got 4.7K views, so 4,700 views. It's averaging about 1,000 views a day, and it's not stopping. I've picked up 49 subscribers in 4 days just from this video alone. I don't know what happened. I'm not going to, this is just a kind of a fluke thing. I'm sure when I release my next video on Tuesday, I'll be back to my typical 300-400 views. But hey, I'm going to ride this wave while it's lasting. And it doesn't seem to be slowing down. I mean, it's on its way to 5K, and tomorrow is day 5. So it's averaging 1,000 views a day. It's insane. And I made $7 just from that video alone. So, and what I noticed down here, I know you can't see this, but YouTube is 88% of the recommendations are coming from YouTube, which is insane because YouTube usually puts me out to pasture. So super happy about this video's performance. I don't know what I've done differently. I mean, the last couple of videos, like I mentioned to you last week in the live stream, the last couple of videos, I've tried new thumbnails. I've tried having ChatGPT help me out with some thumbnail ideas. So that I did. They've helped me out with title ideas. They've helped me out with descriptions and pinned comments. I don't know if it's just starting to come together. I do know that Grandstream is promoting videos from their creators now on their LinkedIn, on their Facebook, and on their X accounts. And I know I've been featured on their Grandstream's social media quite a bit. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know if the collaboration I did with Willie Howe has anything to do with it, because that video's around 500 views. So I don't know. But in any event, I'm thrilled. I haven't had a performance on a video like this in years. So anyway, wanted to share that. So okay. Let's see. Let's go back to the comments. Joe says, regarding the microphone, boom mic works, but it's not going to give you such a full sound. Will be more of a crisp sound condenser. There's a reason why they aren't used in radio. Yes. And they're going to pick up more noise, more room noise. So I don't know if you could tell right now, but like there are 2 air conditioning vents literally set about 4 feet apart, literally above my head. The air conditioner is blowing right now. I don't know if you can hear that or not. But I do know you'd hear it. If you are hearing it, you'd hear it a lot more with the condenser mic. The PTZ camera on the shelf, Keith, yes, is a live cam. And then the PTZ camera here, my close-up view on the desk, is also a live cam. TVJ, I need to try PPSK. I had one gentleman this week on that video. Oh, it's not. It's old technology. It's not the future, and yada 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 yada. And I know, but I simply responded. There's a use case. There's a time and place for everything, and it's not a one size fits all. But people need to vent and. Well, Jeremy, I saw your member stream and I just shake my head sometimes. Yes, I'll take it. You don't have to cut to computer screen. We can read it in your glass. Oh, stop, Joe. You hit a nerve. Care to elaborate on that, DJ? I'm not sure, I guess, where in the conversation that comment fits in. Yeah, finally. Probably the last one for the next 10 years. And a little Elgato Keylight Mini. Push a button on the Stream Deck. Yep. Honestly, I'm not familiar with PPSK, and I think a lot of people would be curious to learn more. I have 4 SSIDs and would like to have one. You could do PPSK with Unify too, Joe. The Grand Stream setup is super simple and straightforward. The one reason why the guy was all over my case about it being old technology is because you can't do WPA3 with PPSK, just WPA2. But I believe if you're running, no, I don't even want to say that. I might be wrong. So, anyway, Grish says we can slightly hear the air conditioning, but not bad. Okay. Just meaning your video did well because it was a topic people wanted to know more about, hitting a nerve. Got it. Okay. In context, that makes a hell of a lot more sense. Thank you. Appreciate it. The more you polarize on socials, the more traction you get. LOL, let people disagree. It's good for the algorithm. And that's the other thing I've been doing too. I've been trying to do more socials. I've been using a free service right now. They do have paid, but I'm just testing my waters with a free service called Buffer. Buffer allows me to take, let's say, a short or a reel, upload it to Buffer, and then send it out to multiple social media sites with one click. You could schedule them in advance. So now I no longer have to, like, when a video releases, then go to each social media site individually and release something. You know, now I could say, hey, if my video is releasing on Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, at 10:01 Buffer will let them go, you know, put it out on all my socials at 10:01. I do 10:01. I do 1 minute later simply because I want to make sure the video is actually goes live. So I give it that 60 seconds or that minute to actually go live on YouTube. The downside of, yeah, exactly. No WPA3. And that's what the guy was ripping me for, which is why he was calling it, a thing of the past. It's not the future, as he said. So, in any event, so that's that. All right. Looks like Cecil's not here today. So I'll hold on to those links, Tim. I did some extensive PPSK testing for Chow, who is also not here today. He didn't ask me to do the PPSK testing, but he was having an issue, whereas with the GrandStream GWN 7672 Wi-Fi 7 access point, when his guests connect to his guest network and then leave his house, like just leave the network and sign on to another network and then come back and stay at his house, when they sign on using the password for the guest network, they were being connected to the trusted or the private network. So I did some testing with that because I wasn't experiencing that with the access points I was using, but I do have a 7672. So I did some testing this week with the 7675, the 7670, the 7670 wall mount, and the 7672. And I can tell you that I was able to reproduce his exact symptoms when I was using the 7672, but not the other three. And I did the testing 4 times, only one access point connected at a time, or broadcasting the Wi-Fi. So I'm not sure if it's a problem with the 7672, if there's a glitch, and in a future firmware update, we can maybe have that addressed. I know I was talking to Willie about it just briefly this week. He and I are going to collaborate on something tomorrow morning. I'm not really quite sure what we're collaborating on, but we talked about, when we did the last collaboration, doing follow-up collaborations and building upon that last zero-tier phone call, or setting up the phone calls, yada, yada, between the 2 locations using zero-tier. We talked about potentially doing a follow-up with adding QoS, or potentially a follow-up with if one site's VoIP SIP trunk goes down, how the other site's extensions can call over zero-tier using site B's SIP trunk, let's say. So I'm not sure which one we're doing, or if we're going to do both, but I'll find out tomorrow morning when I meet up with him. And I was talking to him about this PPSK issue, how I have it zeroed down right to the 7672 access point, exactly the symptoms that Chow was having or describing in the last live stream or two. And Willie asked me if I opened up a ticket with GrandStream, and I haven't done that yet, and I probably should. But I know Tim, I don't know I hope it's okay for me to say this. I know you're expecting one from GrandStream, a 7672, and I know you're going to do some testing as well. So I would like to stay in touch with you to see if you can reproduce those same symptoms, and then at that point, we should open up a ticket, whether it be Willie, whether it be me, whether it be you, with GrandStream. But I just want, there's 2 of us already that are experiencing the symptoms with the 7672 not working properly with PPSK. So if you become the 3rd, then I think it's worth opening up a ticket. But in any event, okay, moving on. I'm including YouTube when I say socials. Controversy is good for algorithms. Why are we so divided in real life? Yeah. Well, and just to comment on that, Joe, I do schedule the same same reels and shorts on YouTube as well, but I have to do that manually because right now the free version of Buffer only gives me 3 connected accounts. If I want to add a 4th, then I have to pay, I think it's $5 a month per account. So it would be $20 a month to push out to all 4 social platforms. And I'm just not ready to make that commitment yet because I don't know that I have enough data to evaluate whether or not that's truly making that much of a difference, because there's just been a couple of changes going on the last couple of weeks in combination, so I'm not sure really where I could pinpoint it, and I want to see if this now keeps up or if it's just a fluke, you know? But in any event, thank you, David. I appreciate you stopping in. PPSK is enterprise Wi-Fi. The comment you got about it being old is half true, but it's mainly because home gear doesn't usually support it. And DJ, I'm going to put myself out there right now because I'm never claimed to be an expert, so I'm going to throw this out to you. I was reading, I think, Grandstream's literature, and correct me if I'm wrong, and Grish, you might know the answer to this too. They said if you're using an enterprise radius server, you can use PPSK with radius authentication at the enterprise level using WPA3. Is that sound like it could be true, or did I misinterpret the documentation I was reading? Studio sounds amazing even when you walk around, so great job. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. I did follow your voucher video, and while it's cool, I have no use case for it. Yeah. I mean, unless you're going to be printing out vouchers and give it to guests that come. I mean, we don't have a lot of guests in the course of the year. It's just easy to just give them their own separate, password or separate SSID with its own password. Yeah, I'm curious, Tim. Please keep me in the loop once you get it and kind of results you get with the testing. I don't know how well that would go over there, Joe. Okay, thank you, DJ. Fair enough. You know what? It's very possible I am just reading it wrong, incorrectly. So, but okay. That covers the PPS testing for Chow. Talked a little bit about the Willie collab. Got the links for Cecil. We closed the poll. I do want to go over my deck update, but before I do that, there's one other thing. Let me bring this up on the screen. For those of you with Ugreen NAS, Ugreen now has a personal Ugreen NAS uninterruptible power supply, a UPS, $99. I don't have one. I want to get one, even if I have to buy it for myself. But buy it myself for the Ugreen NAS. I'll just use some of the money that I get from YouTube AdSense to give back to the channel here. $99. It plugs directly into let's go through it first. Let's talk about what it is. So if you don't have a Ugreen NAS, then this is not going to be interesting to you. But if you have a Ugreen NAS and you have these compatible models, the DXP 2800, the 4800, and the 4800 Plus, the DH 4300 Plus, and the DXP 480T Plus, you might be interested in this little device. Let's just go through it. You got 120 watts. What it does is it's basically a UPS for just the Ugreen NAS. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? But you connect the barrel connector. So you unplug the Ugreen, you power the Ugreen NAS down. You unplug the power cord from the back of the UPS, back of the NAS. You plug the barrel connector from the UPS into the Ugreen NAS, and then you take the Ugreen NAS power supply, the power that you were using to power the NAS, you plug it into the back of the UPS, and then you connect a USB cable from this device to your NAS, and you have full integration using the Ugreen app. You can control this device. You can set things like auto power down. You could set a time delay. You're not going to get a lot of time out of this. Obviously, it's a portable device, but it's going to do the job as far as when it comes to protecting your data. Let's see what it says here. You got auto shutdown mode, standby mode, and auto turn on mode. And that's another neat feature too. It will not only safely power down the device, but when power comes back on, it will then wake up and then power on the NAS as well. Here's just showing what I was talking about, connecting to main power. So yeah, again, like I said, I don't have it. I want to get it. Let me see if I could find the I want to find the spot that shows the 9 shields of layer, because I mean it's got like surge protection and all this different stuff. But anyway, for $99, I thought it was worth sharing, again, for those of you who have a Ugreen NAS. And will I do a video on it if I buy one? Absolutely. So, all right. Let's see where we are. How does it feel having the new setup? Does it light a fire? A little bit. The video that I released this week, the way it's performing, maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. I ripped this apart like Wednesday morning, and at that point the video had 1,000 views, which for me is fantastic. I mean, literally the pattern for my videos are 5 to 6 hours later, 80 views. By the next morning, 120 views, and then over a week's period, maybe 300-400 views. So to wake up on Wednesday morning and see like 1,000 views, I was like, yeah, I was a little inspired. I'm not going to lie. So, hey, Haley, welcome. I love it. I just bought 4 batteries to replace my UPS units. I replace them every 3 years, 100%. In fact, I think I'm due on replacing mine in about a year. I think I replaced mine 2 years ago. I really need to just print out a label and put the date on when I change them so I can just walk in and look at them and go, oh yeah, I got so much time left. I feel you would get a better deal with a regular UPS, could power a lot more. Well, true. But I just like the personal, I mean, I have one for each rack, but I just think the fact that I can control it natively in the Ugreen app, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool feature, and I like the auto on. So, the Ugreen NAS can auto turn on if you change. Oh, okay. Good to know. Did not know that. Thanks, TVJ. Keith, secret info. A little bit more context on that, Keith, please. Thank you. Oh, come on, Haley. You should try Wi-Fi vouchers. I'm sure Jay would be generous with you. Awesome. All right. Last but not least, I want to share with you my deck updates. So we had some work done this week. Yay. Let me just get signed into my DS920. Okay, and let me search for... Okay, and then I'll show you an update. So let's go to here. Okay, so if you've been following me in the streams, you've seen some of these pictures. I have two more that are not on here yet, but if you're here for the first time, so this is the project where, this is the result we're hoping to achieve on the back of our house. Although the pergola is not going to be white, it's going to be the same color as the decking material. Now, I'm not sure what order these are in, so I'm just going to go back. Now, let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. So the area where it's going, come on, Tony. The area where it's going is here. So we had to remove some of our bushes, and I think I showed you that. Here's the area once the bushes were removed. And then here's where we put all of those bushes along the back fence, because we had just this mulched garden but with nothing in it. So that kind of worked out and filled it in. Then I showed you, yeah, this was the right photo to go to. I showed you this where he was just laying out his boards just to get some height measurements and things like that. This is where we didn't have any work done last week, so this was 2 weeks ago where he started to frame it out. And now, let me bring these three up. Okay, let me bring this over here. Okay, so now he's got the entire base framed, blocked, all the footings poured and set. Here's just a top-down view of it. So we're moving along. I believe on Monday or Tuesday, we're getting a delivery of more of the materials so he can begin laying the top deck. And I think he's also going to put the 3 uprights in the front for the pergola. He's got the footings in place, and then he's got brackets mounted to the footings for the 3 upright posts. And then, you know, so it should start coming along. I should have more. Hopefully, if the weather cooperates this week and we don't get a lot of rain, I should have more photo update for you next week. And I'm looking forward to seeing the finished project so that I could put up the inspiration photo of what we're trying to achieve and then the finished product and compare the two. So that's what's going on with the deck project. Let's see. Oh, yeah. No biggie. Yeah, I did the auto power on last power state with my Ugreen works well. Good to know. Good to know. Yes, sir. Didn't want to waste them all. Out of all of them, one's struggling a little bit, but my landscaper tends to think not to pull it, although it looks dead to me. He says leave it for the winter and see what happens next fall. He thinks it's going to come back, so if not, I'll pull it next fall. Good progress will be great when done. Hope so. And boy, I have to tell you, they were supposed to be, I'm not touching this comment from a certain aspect, but in a normal conversation, the landscaper was supposed to come today and do all the fall trimming, and I canceled it because we're having our front door resurfaced as well. In 3 years or 3.5 years, the sun just beat the hell out of it was a dark walnut, and it was just like it faded so badly in 3 years. So he was here to put the third coat of stain on today, so I didn't want the landscaper here cutting and blowing dust all over the place. So that's happening next week. No outdoor TV. I think that's where Miss Lisa would put her foot down, although I probably could talk her into it. We're definitely putting an outdoor fan. So you know what? And that she wanted that. So, you know what? TVJ, an outdoor TV might not be out of the question. So, all right, let's see how we're doing here. We got 10 people here, 13 likes. I don't want to belabor it. I appreciate your folks' time for being here with me. I believe I covered everything on my list for this week. Not sure what's going on for next week. My plan is to be here. Hopefully tomorrow morning, Willie and I will come up with something productive to maybe get something out this week. We'll see. So listen, I hope everyone has a good rest of the weekend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the stamp of approval on the new look. I'm open to suggestions. I'm happy with where I took it in a short period of time, but I'm always open for more. So feel free. You will not hurt my feelings. So anyway. Say you need it so you can do outdoor streams. There you go. Big screen outside so you can bring Jeremy outside. You guys are too much. Anyway, thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope to see you in the next week's stream. Not sure what the topic's going to be at this point, but I never know from week to week anyway, so it'll just be a surprise. Maybe I'll have some of the updates here. Maybe I'll have that rig built. Maybe, I never told you. Well, I told you something was going back there, but I didn't tell you what, and I'm not going to tell you what until it's here and you see it for yourself. So on that note, folks, I want to thank you again for being here. Thank you for the support. Keep your fingers crossed. I don't expect 4,000 views on every video I release, but keep your fingers crossed that maybe the channel's building a little bit of momentum, and I can get more than 200 views a week or something like that. But in any event, thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.